That's one way to fix a dent. Okay. If you're ever wondering why I don't ride that bike more, that's why. Not actually. Okay, today's video topic is going to be simply about progress and planning. It is mostly just an excuse for me to make a video in an attempt to organize the chaos that is the thoughts and the ideas that flow through my brain all the time for this channel. If that's not your thing, that's fine. I'm going mountain biking tomorrow. Come back for that. So this topic stems from a question that was asked in the last Q&A session. I mentioned in that Q&A session that it was something that I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into in a future video. This is that video. And it was, describe the warehouse dream and what a typical day would look like. Okay, so the idea is pretty simple. What it looks like, of course, is a warehouse. What that warehouse size is, who knows? It all kind of depends on how much this all costs. Looking at all of the commercial rental spaces, I don't really understand how much it costs per month. They all say a price per square foot, all ranging from around $7 to $10 per square foot. Most places that I've been looking at are anywhere from 5,000 to 25,000 square feet, which means I guess you'd be looking at possibly $250,000 a month to rent it? Does that seem right? That doesn't seem right. But I digress. Back to what the warehouse should look like. So I expect probably a sixth of it to be office space of some sort. Does that seem right? Yeah, that might be right. Housed inside this notably non-existent office space would probably be a good spot for the bike shop and like hangout space. Possibly a storefront. Office space is going to be inexistent, but it'd be the bike shop and the hangout space where a lot of things get done during the day. Depending on the space and layout, probably this entire section would be devoted to skateboard and BMX ramps in one way or another. I don't know what that looks like really. This would kind of be like, you know, a wooden ramp area. And over here in this wildly open area would probably be a bunch of dirt jumps that should be accessible to regular mountain bikes, BMX, and like dirt jumpers. And then right here, where there's space left over, hopefully there's a garage door where maybe we can work on like cars and motorbikes. I promise I am a better drawer than this. Yeah, this is kind of what it should look like. Obviously, like I said, hard to plan for something that does not exist and is probably 5 to 6 years out. Ultimately, think of it as a space that is just a huge conglomerate of what it is exactly that we do in this shed, mixed in with like the old bike shop that I used to work at that used to be such a character in this vlog, along with just a place to be. And then to explain what a day would probably look like with a warehouse in the Spindat name, consider a few years ago in the vlog when I used to work at the shop, when I would kind of establish the video being at home, the commute there would sort of fill out the story or fill out the subject a little bit, and then we got to the shop, I'd elaborate more on the subject that I wanted to talk about, whether it was we were messing with something, whether it was an idea that I had. It doesn't matter what the idea of the video was, but that format was something that I really, really loved and really, really long for to get to again. The establishment, the elaboration, the finalizing, and then getting home. It just always flowed so nice, and I do miss it. And while the summer is not so bad for going out and riding the things that we do create here on the channel, it does of course get tough when you're working full time, and that gets exasperated when winter shows up and your daylight is gone before you know it. So the real benefit in my mind of the dream is I can create something and ride it the same day in the same spot. Essentially, I just kind of want something that would serve as a home base for all of my creative ideas. So the next thought and the next part of this is considering its feasibility. When you have a goal or a plan as ambitious as this, I think it's really important to have a progress plan for the execution to try and make it happen. And possibly, and I do not like thinking like this, being somewhat realistic about whether or not it actually could happen. And there's a couple problems working against me in figuring this out. Number one being, how much do warehouses cost to rent? It's not clear anywhere I look, and I have no idea. I have no basis. Right now, it seems like I need $250,000 a month in profit to even consider having something that I really want the size of. Number two, very simple, money. There is no denying that the industry that I'm in and the stuff that I like to mess with is capital intensive. Even running this channel right now on the shoestring budget that it does have costs kind of a lot of money to produce, but it also could be less. And that's something that I'm working on. I am working towards spending a little bit less money on the bikes and the stuff that I have here, focus on what I've got, create content with it that is enjoyable to watch, and work towards the goals that are in that 5-year success plan. Problem number three, time. How much time is it going to take to get to a spot where I've got the capital to do something like this? That is another massive unknown, especially when you don't know what number you're shooting for anyway. And this is why I like working on my own thing through YouTube so much. The past 2 months that I've been uploading at a much higher frequency than I've ever done before have had an absolute immediate and noticeable effect on growth and revenue for what it is that I work on. That is not something that I have ever experienced in any true, real job that I have ever had in my life. Typically, at any job that you do, the more you take on, the more responsibility you get, and almost never does the return on investment rear its head in any sort of timely fashion. Hell, I remember when I was just starting and I thought it would be cool if I ever got to 10,000 subscribers, 10,000 people who are interested in hearing my stories, seeing what I'm working on, or just in general watching anything that I create. And that was the goal. That was where I wanted to be, and I'd be happy. I wouldn't go any further than that. And it seemed so out of reach. I remember how long it took. And every month and then every year that I didn't hit that goal, it was well, there's always next month, or there's always next year. But eventually it happened. And I remember being holy shit, I can't believe that I actually worked towards something that I wanted to make happen, and it did. Geez, usually I give up by now. And since then, there hasn't really been a number that I've been shooting towards at all. The goal hasn't really been numbers related. It's more been, how do I continue to work towards this so that I can become something that I'm doing every day, working towards becoming a better creator, a better rider, better mechanic, and documenting all of it. And knowing that I got past my 1,000 subscriber goal, the 10,000 subscriber goal, that I'm working towards that full-time, do this forever goal, it does give me that confidence that the warehouse dream goal isn't unfeasible, but it is doable. Okay, I hope this was at least somewhat inspirational and motivational. If you have any aspirations of being a YouTuber, or if there's any goal that you're working towards, that don't let all the trials and tribulations kind of hold you back. Keep grinding through everything that might be holding you back a little bit. And eventually you will reach what it is that you want. Because I have to keep telling myself that. And if I'm lying, I'll be pretty upset. Okay, so speaking of the success of the next step, the next iteration of my YouTube career, the Spindat stickers have finally arrived and they are live for sale on the store. Full transparency, with each purchase, I'll make about $5, depending on where it's going to. If stickers aren't your thing and you want to be part of the support for this channel and see more content come out, then you can support the channel through Patreon. You can support the channel by buying anything you need through the Amazon links below, or you can just keep watching videos. That's the easiest and best way to continue to support the channel. I think it's supper time.